Scarborough Shoal is a tiny triangle of rocks and reefs in the South China Sea. Beneath its shallow waters lies a powder keg. Just 120 miles from the Philippines, it's vital for Filipino fishermen. Yet China claims almost the whole sea, including Scarborough. This has turned the shoal into a hotspot for confrontation. The South China Sea is one of the world's busiest waterways. Whoever controls Scarborough holds a strategic advantage. For the Philippines, it means livelihood and sovereignty. For China, it's about national interest and historic claim. The US wants freedom of navigation here. Every US ship near the shoal raises tension. Scarborough Shoal has become a symbol of the struggle for the Indo-Pacific's future. In late February 2026, a US Navy destroyer, the USS Fitzgerald, sailed close to Scarborough Shoal. The mission was clear, a freedom of navigation operation. The US wanted to challenge China's sweeping claims. Within hours, Chinese warships responded. At least 3 PLA Navy vessels approached, shadowing the US destroyer. The tension was immediate and electric. The scene was dramatic. The American ship kept its course, moving deliberately inside what China calls its territorial waters. Chinese frigates closed in, sometimes less than a mile apart. Both sides ramped up their radar, scanning for threats. Voices crackled over open radio channels, stern warnings, assertive replies. The air was thick with suspicion and risk. Above them, Chinese J-11 fighter jets roared overhead, the sky filled with the distant thump of helicopter rotors. At one point, a US Navy Seahawk helicopter circled the area, watching every move. On the water, small patrol boats zipped between the bigger ships, filming and photographing. Every action, every turn, felt loaded with meaning. This was more than just a dance of steel. It was a contest of nerves. One wrong move, a collision, a misread signal, could have turned the standoff into a crisis. For hours, the world held its breath, watching as two superpowers faced off over a few contested rocks. Satellite images released after the encounter reveal the full story. High-resolution photos captured the US destroyer's route near the shoal, and Chinese warships boxing it in from multiple directions. The images show small boats darting about, and even the wakes of jets overhead. Rear Admiral Simon Davies stated, "Our forces operated safely and professionally, asserting freedom of navigation." The Pentagon released a map showing the USS Fitzgerald's path in international waters. China's response was swift. Spokesperson Wang Wenbin accused the US of provocation. Analysts noted the unprecedented proximity of US and Chinese warships near the shoal. The world took notice, both in the sky and on the ground. For the Philippines, the Scarborough Shoal is more than just a map point, it's a vital lifeline. Filipino fishermen have worked these waters for generations. When Chinese Coast Guard ships block access, local economies really suffer. Manila has protested these blockades. But honestly, it faces a tough balancing act. The country relies on US security, but at the same time, trades heavily with China. The latest standoff sent shockwaves through the Philippine government. President Maria Robles demanded restraint, calling for peaceful solutions and respect for the rule of law. At the same time, Filipino Navy patrols increased their presence near the shoal. For ordinary people, the mood was tense and uncertain. Some Filipinos supported the US show of strength, while others feared escalation. "We just want to fish in peace," said Ernesto de la Cruz, a local fisherman. "Every time the big ships come, we are the ones who lose." The government appealed to ASEAN partners, hoping for a united regional response. Yet unity is hard to achieve. ASEAN members have their own interests and fears. Some want to confront China, others prefer quiet diplomacy. The Scarborough Shoal clash exposed these divisions and underscored the Philippines' vulnerable position at the crossroads of great power rivalry. The South China Sea is not just about ships and shoals, it's a superhighway for global trade. Every day, thousands of tankers and cargo ships pass through its waters. Control of these sea lanes means economic power. That's why countries far from Asia, like the US, Japan, and Australia, care deeply about what happens here. China wants to secure its 9-dash line, claiming most of the sea. It has built artificial islands and airstrips to project power. The US, meanwhile, works with allies to keep the sea open. Joint military drills with Japan, Australia, and the UK have become routine. Each move sends a message: alliances matter, and no one will give up the sea without a fight. The recent standoff showed how quickly military posturing can escalate. Both sides brought their best ships and planes, but smaller states like Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia watched closely. Each wonders, will the US defend them if China pushes too far? Or, will they be left to fend for themselves? The Scarborough Shoal is just one piece of a bigger puzzle. It's about more than territory. It's about who sets the rules in Asia for decades to come. The stakes are high, and honestly, they're rising. Was this standoff just a show of muscle or something more dangerous? Experts are divided. Some, like Dr. Melissa Chan of the Asia-Pacific Security Institute, see it as calculated theater. She notes both navies knew exactly how close they could get without sparking a fight. It's a message to the world, she says. Neither side is backing down. Other analysts warn of real danger. Captain James Harlan, a retired U.S. Navy officer, points to the risk of human error. Ships that close, with radar and weapons hot, is a recipe for disaster, he says. The 2026 incident was the closest call yet. One slip, a misheard order, a technical glitch, and bullets could fly. Chinese experts also weighed in. Professor Liang Wei, a defense scholar in Beijing, called the U.S. operation reckless. He said China cannot tolerate foreign interference so close to its shores. Chinese social media buzzed with nationalist voices demanding a firm response. In Washington, some officials hinted at tougher steps if China keeps up the pressure. Others urged dialogue to avoid war. For now, the world can only watch, hoping that these shows of force don't lead to something far more deadly. The Scarborough Shoal standoff is a warning sign. The risk of conflict in the South China Sea is real and growing. Both China and the US are determined. Neither wants to look weak. Each show of strength makes the next encounter riskier. For the Philippines and its neighbors, the choices are stark. Rely on the US for protection and risk angering China, or seek compromise and risk losing control of their own waters. None of these options is easy. The recent clash has made the stakes painfully clear. The world's attention is now fixed on the region. Diplomats urge talks, but the military buildup continues. Every encounter at sea is a test, a chance for disaster, or just maybe for restraint. The future of the South China Sea hangs in the balance. Peace depends on cool heads and careful moves. But as the Scarborough Shoal standoff showed, even small rocks can shake the world.